I've been thoughtin' and boughtin' since I was a young little thing, okay?
Oh my god, it was the most intense thing that ever happened to me.
My life is a chaotic madness. chaotic madness. What's good, bitches? It's your girl, Sasha Raee here. And on today's episode, I have one of my favorite people in the whole entire world, Miss Destiny Diaz. Hey, girl.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. It's hot in here, but
it's getting hot in
that's
here.
Summer.
That's good. Well, I mean, the world right now in our industry is a little chaotic. So, I mean, I feel like since you're one of my first guests to be going on, we should just talk about what's going on because it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
It is almost too much, actually.
Overnight. Like, damn, can we get a break for once? Like, there's just, damn. Like, that's all I can say.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
I think my feelings got big time hurt when it came out in the news before it came out in my email. You know, like, that was really, like, straight to the heart.
Especially, too, because we were all emailing, like, hey, there was, like, a rumor, it feels like going on right now. Is this real? And they're like, oh, no, trust me, y'all are good. We would never do this to you. Ever. And then, top headline news, the bomb drop.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know what we're talking about, if you're under a rock, we are talking about Onlyfans. Once again, taking advantage of sex workers, making them multi-billionaires, and then just dropping us off.
Yeah, but you know what? When push comes to shove, there was no searching database on OnlyFans, and people love to say, oh, OnlyFans made you guys, but every individual creator drove their own traffic to their own page, and the sex workers made OnlyFans. You can't think of OnlyFans without thinking of sex workers, and their future does not look that bright. I'll be honest with you.
It's very true. And OnlyFans was around way before the pandemic even hit. And I think people don't realize that it had been around for a couple of years. I think 4 years now, right? Like it's in its fourth.
2017?
Yeah. Okay. So 4 years, 17. Yeah.
I think
4
so,
years.
yeah.
Yeah. Just around that. So, I mean, it wasn't like OnlyFans was already big and popping and then we just hopped on it. No, when we hopped on it, that's when everyone was like, ooh, this where the bag is. Oh, I can't go to work? Okay, let me do this online. I didn't even know you can do this online. And it just opened up doors for a whole lot of other people. And I shouldn't say we made OnlyFans, but I mean, we kind of did.
I don't want to take credit for it because I definitely was pretty late joining, but I knew what it was.
You and
you know what I mean?
But when I say we, I mean our industry as a whole.
Workers.
Not like
for
me
sure,
personally. For sure. Shit, I'm a nobody compared to some of these people that are bringing in 6-7 figures.
For sure. And there's a lot of families who, even just single women or anybody who joined OnlyFans over the pandemic to provide for their families and maybe weren't able to diversify, in that short period of time, did not consider saving their taxes, did not consider a long-term plan.
Yeah.
But that we were all, there's a lot of people who are joining OnlyFans over the last year who were in a survival mode, who were, doing it for their families, for themselves, because they lost their jobs, couldn't work, whatever the reason. And it's left a lot of people kind of chopped off here at the knees being like, what now? Like, there wasn't there was no warning. Literally, like I mentioned earlier, it just came out in the news. And there's so much, so many rumors going on about it before it was all confirmed. And now, I'm not going to lie, my OnlyFans over the last couple days since this news broke has just been so fucking dead. Hardly any subscribers, hardly any new tips, hardly any messages. I think people are searching for the next thing right now. You
kind of have to, because if you know like you said, when you hear OnlyFans, you automatically think of something sexual going on. whether if it's nude or if it's more on the extreme side where you're getting actual sex tapes of penetration and girl on girl action and all that stuff. You don't really think of the other side of OnlyFans where people are like, yeah, I make cooking videos or I live stream video games. Like, I forget that there are creators on the platform that are non-nude because it's such a sexually driven name. Even if that wasn't their intention, that's what it became. You even had Instagram models coming out trying to do nude photos and stuff like that. Which is a huge
YouTubers,
thing.
Celebrities, yes. A lot of people flipped over there.
A lot of people.
You know, Many Vids a few years ago was investing a lot of time and energy into like getting some mainstream influencers and celebrities to work with their company, and it didn't quite flip off like OnlyFans did. OnlyFans became so trendy, and like, I don't know about you, but if Beyonce ever mentioned my company, like, I would not fuck that up.
For real. Ever.
Oh my god.
Demon Time started OnlyFans. I remember when she dropped that line, I never felt more proud to be like an OnlyFans model. I was like, Beyonce talking about me, like yes, Queen Bee. Like, you respect us. Like, you ain't gonna start one. I know. If you did, I'd pay that $150.
If you did, I'd subscribe.
Whatever it costs, I'm paying. $500. All right, here you go. $500. I might only get 1 month, but hey.
Yeah. But I don't know, like, I'm excited to see where it goes. I've heard a lot of new sites pop up that I didn't hear about before, and I've been doing this a long time. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot of controversies, a lot of things being brought to the surface with different platforms, and it almost feels like a political vote, like the lesser of two evils. Which one are you going to be able to deal with? And that's not really like the healthiest way to look at choosing a platform, but strategically and business-wise, you know, you have to decide and weigh out what is important to you for your business model. And, you know, if chargebacks are a problem not being covered, that's something you need to consider. You know, co-star performers, everything. There's everything. There's
and I think
all
too,
the rules are so different.
With like a lot of people that joined during the pandemic, they're new to the industry, if they even want to consider themselves a part of the industry, because that's a whole nother thing. But they don't know about chargebacks. They don't know about the model agreements. They don't know about if you have to reach a certain amount of money before you can get promoted on their site, or if they promote models on the site, or do they have a database? Like, there's a lot of things that we know because we are kind of vets in the industry. So we have evolved with the online sex world, but these new people, they don't know. They just think, okay, so what's next? I mean, half the time they didn't even know they paid taxes, which still baffles me because this is the world. Ain't no way you making money for free and not paying the government back. Like, what country do you not have to pay taxes? Because I will move there today in a heartbeat. Like, but there isn't one. So I don't know.
There's a lot of long-term planning. A lot of people think, you know, oh, I'm just going to make my money and do my thing and whatever. But like, when you start making money and you have a name and you're a business now and you have to, you know, move that way.
Exactly. I mean, even if you're only making $12K a year, you still have to pay taxes on that. It's you have a job. It may not be a corporate job, but it's a job. You're getting paid. Therefore, you should automatically assume you have to pay taxes. Like I was telling my sister, I was like, okay, you want to start this? Let me break it down to you, the real, the raw, the pros, the cons. And then if it's still something you want to do, like, of course, I got you. I'll back you. She was so baffled. She's like, all of that goes into it? Wow. I'm even more, like, inspired by you. And I was like, yeah, there's a lot to this. Like,
that's awesome.
Popping pussy and making millions. If it was that easy, I'd be a multi-billionaire. But it's not.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. I feel like you really got to adapt with the times. Like, what the industry looked like when I joined 9 years ago is so different than what it is today. Like, there was like 1 or 2 clip sites that models were using then. There was only like 3 cam sites that had enough traffic for you to like really invest time into. Like,
were you around with Live Jasmine?
That, yeah.
Or what? Okay, yeah.
Like 2012. Like
yeah,
early,
yeah.
like
early,
20.
Yeah. Like, no
Long
one even
time
knows
ago.
about live Jasmine. Like, oh my God. Like,
I know.
jeez.
I've seen a lot of sites come and a lot of sites go, and you have to do it right if you want longevity from a business, like a business that has hosting models, whether it's a campsite or a clip site. And models are very aware. Performers are very aware that they hold the power in this industry right now.
Very.
Like, companies are jumping when we tell them to, and they should, because it's the best for them if they want longevity in this industry. But at the same time, you can't help, little corporate greed, people just trying to cut corners when they want, and it makes a lot of companies flop.
And not to just completely shit on the companies, because I see where some of them are like kind of put in a corner, and it's not necessarily their fault, because it's just the society, the government we live in. But I feel like if you're going to preach you're about something, then be willing to lose to stand up for what you believe in. And I think that's where a lot of us get a little upset, is because they preach this whole thing when everything is green and everything is glory. And then as soon as they're put in the corner, it's, okay, we're just going to cut them off. Like, we don't care. They're not important. They're not a necessity. And it's just kind of like a stab in the back. It's like a spouse murdering you when you never thought they would be the one to do that to you. Maybe that's a little dramatic, my dramatic ass. But like, that's how it feels, because you make these companies so much money. And yes, we make money obviously off of it, but we don't make as much as they make, nearly as much as they're making as a business. And it's like you just put in all of your soul into something for them to just turn around and just not care at all about you. And that's like a slap in the face.
That's why it's important for performers to keep putting the pressure on the websites, like pay us for our opinions, pay us for our feedback, pay us for this, because, it's exhausting. Yeah. Like, someone reached out to me on Facebook, someone who used to be a model, she reached out to me and said, a friend of mine wants to start a platform and they want to pick your brain. And I'm like, I'm exhausted. Like, my brain is mush right now. Like, I can't be giving people everything that I wish I had in a website when I'm going through a transition of my entire business plan. Like, you're with no compensation. There's no business. You guys have nothing happening yet. You just have like a spark of an idea, and then you just want to milk my ideas. It just wasn't working for me. Yeah. And I feel very underappreciated by a lot of companies that don't value our professional opinions. Like, we know what works.
Exactly. We are the... what do they call those? Like the Facebook groups? Is it Facebook group? When you like are trying to test a product and you hire a bunch of like unbiased people to give like their opinions on something. What are those groups called? Whatever. There's some type of group and they get paid to sit in like a little room or whatever. They look at this product. We're kind of like those people where we have tested out every aspect of what works and what doesn't work. So why would you not listen to us when we're the ones that's making the money? Like, we're the ones on the front line. It just doesn't make any sense. But I mean, that just goes back to society where people don't believe what we do is a real job. But you can say that about video game streamers. You can definitely say that about IG models. You can say that about so many professions that does not require
every
you to be in
digital occupation.
Exactly. Yeah. So it just bothers me so much when we're just not respected, but we're used so much to make people money. It's crazy.
And it's not even always just adult platforms like, Snapchat. Let's break down Snapchat.
Oh, gosh,
here's an app where you can send a photo that disappears and never exists again in all of your messages. You know who that was created for and what the intentions were behind this this whole app. And now, like, if you say OnlyFans on it,
terminate.
Like,
instant.
With like all your memories, all your contacts, everything just
gone.
For having your legal job that
you
is a platform that hosts many people. Like,
the thing is, I feel like if people think that sex work is so dangerous and illegal, we should not be paying taxes. I want all my money back from 2010 until now. Like, I want back pay. Since you guys think it's not legal, yo, I might then actually be a millionaire. But I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's society. There's like this guy that I talked to, we'll call him Bluebird, and he was telling me how like we just need to create our own platform and like try to get crypto or some type of token-based system where you can avoid the whole like MasterCard, Visa situation that's going on. And I was like, if it was that easy, don't you think someone would have done it? I was like, OnlyFans was actually created by a sex worker, and it got taken from them. What makes you think we could just pop out a whole website? It runs smoothly. It gives everything what we all want, like a dream website. If it was that easy, don't you think someone would have done it by now? Like, it's there's a lot of loops and hoops that you have to get over, and I don't know what these companies put themselves under either. Like My Free Cams, I don't know what they legally are as a business. Are they an adult platform? Are they something else? Like, there's always a loophole to get the funding that you need, and we don't know that. We're not behind the scenes. We're just the models. We just sign up.
Yeah, I hate when people say, "Oh, just start your own site." Like, it's just so goddamn easy.
Like, yeah, let me do that. Okay, let me get on it right now. Like, you don't think that?
And I know that not every platform can cater to every model. Like, it's impossible for us to cater to all of our supporters. So how can we expect a website to cater to all of these performers? But at the same time, like, a lot of websites could be doing a whole lot more.
Do we want to talk about?
They're always open.
Do you want to talk about who we want? Like, should we go there? Because they did just drop. Let me quote them correctly so I don't misquote. Hold on, because they just dropped this, which is kind of like still cutting corners, but I mean, I guess baby steps, right? Whatever. I'm gonna just say their name because I've won 2 crowns by them, so I've never been shy to not call them out on their shit, and yet some reason they still fuck with me low-key. But, well, where did it go?
With Many Vids specifically, we've been asking for a lot of things for a long, long time, and they would be in a really good position right now if they had taken all of those recommendations into consideration and implemented them instead of taking away so many resources.
Yes, okay. Before I quote them, I remember a couple years ago when Many Vids was like hopping, and it made me want to join solely because the community looked like, I was like, I got to be a part of this. That's how I even found you, and like, just really, and like the top models then, they were really talking such great things about Many Vids, and then you would see like just the community awards, but it wasn't just based about contests either. It was like, that was a nice community like culture thing to have, but it was also about the clip store. Like, it just seemed like a perfect site. And I fucking hate this because every time I find something that just seems so perfect and what I'm looking for, as soon as I join it, it just goes down. And everything, it just crumbles. I'm like, damn, the culture wasn't there anymore. The vibes were completely off. They started taking off a lot of features that made me want to join. And they do not listen to the models at all.
Yeah, they used to. I totally vouch that they used to. We would say, hey, this isn't right. Fix it. Fixed. Hey, this isn't right. Change this. Done. Hey, we want this. Out there. And then it was like we hit a brick wall and it literally crumbled. Like, there was, the blog was taken away.
Happen? Like, the magazine was gone. That was one of the things I was so, the lock. That stuff made me so excited. I was like, oh my God, they fly their models out. Like, oh, they have a magazine. I was like, yo, this is the perfect site where I could really just put my blueprint in and like just really put my soul and heart. And they took everything away. Everything.
The Reddit Ask Me Anythings, the blog posts, the merch. Not well, you know, I mean their merch giveaways. They used to give models merch often, which was really nice for, and it made you feel a part of the community. You know, I felt like their awards ceremony got less dramatic.
Yeah.
There was a lot of different things. And I think the reason for this is because they've been putting all their manpower into what they're saying is their 2.0. But they've been working on it for a long time. And I know it takes a long time, but, you know, we don't have a lot of time.
Right.
You know, if you don't start making these changes soon, people are going to... I don't want to see Many Vids phase out. I would like to see them sustain a platform, but they have to change soon.
Like today.
It's not even like it's been the same for too long. It's been getting like less and less and less and less. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of resources anymore. There's not a lot of cash prizes. There's not a lot of opportunities to be seen. And these were all major reasons why I recruited so many people originally and, you know, was such an advocate for MV at the beginning. And, you know, just I want the functionality of this website to work because I deserve it because
you put in
I'm
much.
Providing you with my content. So I'm really like expecting this exchange here that's not really where it should be.
I feel
where
like
it was.
maybe with OnlyFans, like kind of flipping the script, maybe MV will take some of the things that we were like have been screaming about and put it in because I mean, I will say this. She is very, very smart at marketing. Like she knows when to like slide in at the perfect opportunity and just get a swarm of customers. Like brilliant. But at the same time, that's not going to keep you longevity. Like you might have it for a hot minute, but you're not going to have it for longevity like other sites do. Like MFC, they don't get into no drama. If you notice, they are literally to themselves. They don't input themselves on anything socially, politically. They be like, "Hey, we good over here." So they don't even go under people's posts and be like, "Oh, well, you can come over here." Like either you know about them or you don't. Like, but they've been around.
They're a well-oiled machine.
Exactly.
That is like very unfuckable.
Even though they have their own problems, like internally, but they still around for a reason.
I gotta give credit to Many Vids because I feel like when they were in their prime, they were really trailblazers in the industry because they really pushed like Pornhub to open up this model hub, and they like MFC to have MFC share, and Streamate started offering, you know, contest cash prizes because like people were like, wait a minute, if this clip site can give out this much money, where the hell is the rest of this money going from all these other platforms? And the pressure was laid on pretty thick, and it did like they did change a lot of things externally too, like aside from what they did with their own company. There was pressure from a lot of other companies.
Yeah.
So, it did overall make the whole industry a better place, I think, but I really just need this 2.0 MV to launch, and I don't want to be wooed by more or new statistics. What I really want is like functionality. I want like proper ways for everyone to be seen on the website, people to like people's content to be found in the proper tags and the proper search engines and all these things. Like new statistics are great. A new dashboard is awesome, but I really want to see
the dashboard isn't going to help me with my analytics if people can't search ebony models or if they can't search SPH. Like, okay, cool. I have this very fancy dashboard that can show me my analytics and break everything down, but no one can find me. Literally, it's like oh my God, I stumbled upon you and I'm so happy I did. And it's like, can you tell me how you stumbled upon me so maybe I can promote it that way? Like, it shouldn't be like that. So hopefully they fix that stuff. Maybe with the crisis right now with a mass amount of models needing a place to go. I mean, because I feel like they really do have such great potential. Everything is in one spot. You can cam there. You can put your clips there. They have the contest there. I mean, it would be nice to bring
subscription club,
the subscription,
store,
everything, all in one place. Imagine that, what we all want. That is almost the perfect place to be if they can fix what I feel like are the basics. If they can do that, they'd be worth billions. Like, we would have new people come. We would be fighting for a spot, like a top spot, because everyone would be coming now.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can dream.
Well, I know that they've been getting a lot of signups. I think a lot of sites. Like, do you know which ones you might be like leaning towards? Or
I see that a lot of people are going to Fansly, and Peach, but I know Peach is affiliated with Chatterbait, and I wasn't really a huge fan of Chatterbait for like a few reasons. So I don't know if I want to do Peach because I feel like they might promote their Chatterbait models that are on Peach more than if you're not on Chatterbait. I don't know why I think that, but I just kind of feel like that's because there's a lot of Chatterbait models that are promoting it. So it makes me think there's some type of like incentive going on. And then there's Just for Fans, but there's some allegations that have came up regarding that. And I just don't think I want to be a part of that. So probably Fansly. Seems like that's where every other hoe is going. So
yeah,
gotta flock like a bird.
I know. I think the most important thing to do is to find the right platform that works for you, but also do enough research to know that if you join a site that might seem good for you, if it has no traffic, it's not going to do anything for you either. So
True.
You have to consider a lot when you make a change or a transition to a different site. For me, I think my business plan, like I already am spread out on like 8 to 10 different platforms. So if that looks like 12 to 15 in a couple weeks, then that's what it is. And I'll just continue to work through my list and give attention to each site every other day and maintain it all. Cause I don't like when I make my supporters feel pressured to follow me from one place to another. Although, of course, I super appreciate the ones that do. I feel guilty to be like, hey, I'm going here, so you better follow me on this one. Like, I know that right now, like, it was nice having everyone in one place, and it's going to be a little difficult for everyone to be everywhere. I know members don't want 12 different accounts. So I think just being as available as you can and keeping up with them as best as you can, for me anyway, will help me be just like more available for people based on what platforms they choose. Like I want my fans to choose where they want to view me right now.
I feel
and
that.
Not so much me.
I feel that. I thought about keeping my OnlyFans and just, well, I have to get rid of everything that's on there anyways, but like doing the like artistic nude stuff that's allowed on there, maybe as like an exclusive softcore version. But
I was feeling that too, but then I was like, I don't really feel like OnlyFans deserves more money from my support.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was. Yeah. I was like, man, I could just kind of keep this here because those that don't want to leave OnlyFans, at least they will know what they're getting because they know what's expected on there now. But then I was just like, do they really deserve like me still promoting them and putting my content on their site? So it's kind of like, I don't know yet. What I think I'm going to do, I'm not in any rush. I'm going to just go through my OnlyFans and like get rid of everything probably within the next couple of weeks because I know I'm not going to have time to do it the end of September. Oh, yeah. There's a lot on there and I got to figure out how
and October's got big plans.
Big plans. So I'm like, damn, all right. So basically in a couple of days, but I do have my Many Vids profile and that's really where I kind of like link where to find me at anyways. So, I mean, maybe this will prompt me to like post more on there and just make it easier until I figure out where, because I think 2 months, I don't know if these sites that everyone's flocking to is actually the business or not.
Yeah.
I'm always late to join the party anyway, so I'm not in a rush. I have Many Vids, so I'll be alright for now, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much to think about. Like, I really am just re-strategizing my whole business plan. Like, school starts back up in a couple weeks, right? And I was excited to, like, focus heavily on camming in my subscription clubs and maybe let videos take a back burner. But now I'm like, maybe that's not the move.
Because clips are just so easy to, like, pop out en masse versus then full-length videos. Like, I can probably get out 2 months worth of video clips faster than I could 2 months worth of full-length videos. Like, I don't think people realize it's not just press play, record, exit, upload. No, it's like a whole production.
I wish. Oh my god, I desperately would.
I'd have way more content out if it was that easy. Like, but I don't know.
I think I'm gonna be streaming like throughout the week, Monday to Friday, and with the ability to record my shows, I think that'll have a lot of content within it for, you know, some of my subscription clubs. That way I can just focus on maybe... Or... Yeah. No, like in my subscription clubs.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like taking my... Because then I could make original content for, like, video content for Onlyfans, or for... for so many things.
So...
on Many Vids. And then have, like, my live streaming be a main focus, and then record those shows and take some of that content and use it in my subscription clubs. But that's subject to change tonight, you know, when I look at this plan again.
Change in a day or two. That can change in a month. Who knows? So, but I mean...
But sex workers are so adaptable. Like, we have just, like, switched every website.
Chameleons.
We've been everywhere. We have no laws protecting us.
Not at all.
Just out here fighting for our will to have our legal jobs.
That's the sad part. Legal jobs. Like, it's illegal. And I feel like I get it. They're like, oh, child trafficking and all that. I'm like, okay, what about the real pedos and the real traffickers that are going on? Why don't you have that same energy and getting them off the streets? Like, you guys are attacking us. Like, we're the ones that's uploading. And yes, I'm not going to sit here and say that there hasn't been any type of, like, video content of minors on these sites. But it's not to the masses that they're making it out to be at all. It's more dangerous in the streets than it is digitally. And I just feel like we're being picked on.
Well, Pornhub, when they released what happened with, like, they put out a statement after their MasterCard fiesta last year, and in it, they revealed that there was, like, 13 counts of underage content on Pornhub, which is obviously 13 too many, but Pornhub self-reported 20-something million cases. And, you know, people see what's happening to sex workers, and they're not really batting an eye. They don't really care. But very soon, every online website is going to require you to upload a piece of ID for you to have it. And that, if that doesn't freak you out, if that doesn't, you know, raise a red flag and make you care about what's happening to sex workers, you're next. You hate to tell it to you, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but like, it's coming.
Venmo, Cash App, now they want you to enter in your social security number, your legal full name to get verified. And that's new. It used to be, you just create a username, a password, link your bank account information so you can get the money, send the money. Now they want to fully identify who you are just to use an app. Like, it's not affecting them personally yet, so they don't care. But when it does, we're all going to be sitting in the background, sipping our tea like, we warned you.
Yeah. Well, my Facebook a few years ago was hacked from somewhere across the fucking planet. I don't even remember where. And I had to upload a photo ID so that I could verify that the account was mine. And now I can never change my account name ever because I'm verified by my name. So, like, even if I wanted to add an additional amount of privacy to my personal Facebook, I can't because it's, like, verified, stuck. That's who I am. I've had performer friends who've gone on with their own performer name and then have to upload photo ID, and it automatically switches your name to your full legal first and last name. And I just think that's really fucked up. Like, that's not for you to be telling people.
Like, I don't care if it is Facebook. I don't want people knowing my government full name. Like, not everybody knows me like that. That's
People do not take privacy as seriously as they should.
Well, because they
Piracy
feel like they're protected if they use a fake name, a fake email. But people don't realize there's IP addresses. There's so many different ways that it can be linked back to you. Your phone number can be linked. Like, I mean, obviously we care more about privacy more than the average person just because we have to. But even then, it's like, I don't know. People just don't care. Or like with iPhones, how you can share your location with people. Like if you're not careful. Like my little sister, she is in middle school now. She just went back and she let's just say her form of transportation, I'm very cautious about. So I was like, hey, you have an iPhone now. Share your location with me. And she was like, oh, okay, this is so fun. Like I can see where you are. You can see where I am. Even though, I'm like, whatever, girl. I'm going to turn mine off, but I'm going to see yours. And then I tell her, I was like, do not share your location with any of your friends under any circumstances. I don't care if they have an iPhone. No, it's only for family. Like no one else. And she's like, I don't understand why though. Like it's a cool thing. I was like, because they don't need to know where you are. It's for your safety. It's for your protection. And she's like, oh wow, I never thought of it like that. And I'm like, damn, I have to teach like a 12-year-old so young about safety and privacy now that she has an iPhone. Like it freaks me out. I'm like, oh my God, you have an iPhone. Like, okay, let me be the good sister and explain to you like, yeah, this might seem cool and fun, but privacy, especially as a woman too, can be so dangerous. The smallest thing you can think, taking a photo somewhere, if you have the wrong like thing in the background, you have a school name, you have a street name, that can be so dangerous. A certain like, I don't know, like monument or something. Oh, I know where that person lives. Like you got to be careful out here.
I know. There was a time back when I first started, and this is when it like really set in with me. I've always, the whole time I've been a sex worker, have had a different location, time zone, all my information, even like a fake real name. Like I've really tried to cover my tracks of privacy, or at least set people in the wrong directions, because privacy is like so number one to me. And I don't know if it's like my mass amount of intake of true crime or what, but I just, it's I'm always thinking about like situations being safe or unsafe. And there was a time when I first started and I was just sitting in my living room and I posted this picture, and I was watching a show and I just snapped it and someone zoomed up on, it stresses me out. Somebody zoomed up on the magazine sitting on my coffee table and screenshotted the address. That was, my gosh. And I was like, why would you do that? Like, what is wrong with you? What is absolutely wrong with you? Like,
my goodness. It's funny that you mentioned true crime, because I'm a huge true crime junkie, like to the point where I'm already a paranoid person, but like this, it traumatizes me, but I'm so informative of it. But people are crazy.
Because I want to know, because I'm getting out. I hate to be so naive, but I am an overthinker. I'm a critical thinker. I'm a problem solver. I will be gone. I'm not sitting around scared. I'm out.
If you get me, trust and believe it's going to be with a fight. It ain't going to be no easy victim. I'm going to let you know that now. It's going out with a fight.
You picked the wrong bitch.
Like, I'm going to sit there. I'm going to call 911 and have them listen in, and I'm just going to be yelling out your description. Like I
see all the long hair all over your back.
Yeah, I'm scratching you. I'm biting you. My DNA, everything. Like you ain't getting me that easy. See, I be hearing some of these stories. I be like, bitch, how the fuck you let that happen? Like
I know, and you say that, but then at the same time, sometimes things happen, and then you get a little like shocked that this is happening to you, and you don't react the way you want. So the more that you're versed in different ways to react, the more likely you are to react.
That's true.
But
it's dangerous in these streets, and true crime makes it worse.
I know. We have to share some true crime channels to watch.
Dude, listen, I will promote this channel like it's my own, but on Spotify, it's called Crime Junkies. Oh my God, these two girls, these bitches, and they tell it like a story. Like it's like calming, but very like eerie at the same time, because they're obviously talking about like murderers and serial killers and like rapists and stuff. And they explain to you also how to like not put yourself in that position, or if you're in that position, what some things that you could possibly do and stuff. I binge them so much. Like I wake up to them, I shower to them, I drive to them, I sleep to them. But these hosts got me paranoid. Like, I be out in these streets and I'm like, oh my God, what would crime junkies do? Like,
no, like I'll be driving home late and like there's a car pulled over. I'm like,
or if someone's staring too hard.
What are?
I'm like, why are you staring? Are
I
you
know.
following
I'm very,
me?
very paranoid.
All the time. Or if like a man is coming out of a store with me, but he's looking at me too hard, like I'll purposely not walk to my car and I'll like walk to like just whatever else is nearby. Like I'm so paranoid, but it'd be those small instances that could literally save your life. Like you just
your intuition, when you feel it in your spirit that something in that, like the energy changes. Like how many times have you been wrong in an instance like that? Not many.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like trust it. Like, ugh.
And it happens more common than people want to admit or think. It just may not be publicized as much either. Because some of the stories I was listening to were from like my hometown and it was recent. And I was scared. I was like, wait a second. This was happening while I was there. That's too close to home. And you just don't think about small stuff like putting your groceries in your car. Like there's a certain position that you should actually put your groceries in your car. Or like you said, taking a photo of the TV. You got to be cautious of what's on your table because some psychopath is going to zoom in and screenshot the action. Like who has time for that?
I know. I think there should be a lot more resources for women too, like maybe free resources, classes. Like I remember when I was a new mother, I was like, I wish I had a self-defense class for new mothers because it's really hard to think in the moment when you have a child to protect or multiple children, what you should be doing in a situation like that. And I just think luckily I found some great TikTok pages that do like women's self-defense tips and tricks, which I follow all of them. I'm like, Eric, come over here. I got to try something. Like, it's so important. Safety is so important. And there's just not enough resources for women to really take care of themselves. And
And it's so illegal to carry things like pepper spray and like pocket knives and tasers. Like you just out here free.
I know.
Unprotected. I mean, you could try me if you want. I'm not saying that I have or don't have anything, but if you want to try it, you can test your luck. That's all I'm going to say. Is go ahead, test your luck. I'm a little crazy. I be wanting some, not wanting, but like if it happens, like I feel like I'm really prepared to like go out with a fight at least. Like
I felt like last summer I was in a scenario where I felt very, very, very unsafe, and I was like, my brain was just going like 100 miles a minute.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I need to get out of this situation.
Yeah,
5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
and
that was dangerous.
Like,
and I'm glad you listened to yourself because when you were telling me the story, I remember getting chills. Like, bruh,
it was red flag after red flag, and I just think that if I had been a little less prepared, I could have ended up in a really bad situation. And you need to take those signs and listen to them and get the fuck out. Be aware of your surroundings. Like, just as a woman, like, I can't even sit in a restaurant with, like, my back to the door where the entrance is.
Same.
So I need to see what is going on in every public setting that I'm in. That is my position. When I sit down, I need to see everybody, everything.
Same.
I'm psycho. And I was, like, in high school, I remember, like, if someone broke into the school and, like, did some shit, like, what would be my escape plan here in this class? Like, constantly, just constantly worrying my whole fucking life, bro.
All the time.
I'm so tired.
When I move into a new place, the first thing, I'm not, like, yeah, I look at the cosmetics, but that's the second thing. The first thing I look at is if someone tried to rob me, where could I, A, hide first, and B, how can I escape? Like, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Not like, oh my God, look at the hardwood floors. Now that comes after, because if there's no way for me to escape, then I can't live here. Like, I'm dead. Like, I'm dead. Like, if something happened and I was in the bathroom, I'm dead. I don't have a window. I'm dead. I'm out. I could try to hide under the bathroom sink. No one ever thinks to look there. But, like, right? No one thinks to look in the bathroom sink. Under the bed, yes, everyone thinks to look there. But the bathroom sink, no one thinks to look there. Because most of the time, you can't really fit under there. But best believe, I'm going to figure out how to crunch and get in there. But
I might have a pipe in my hip.
Hey, I'm gonna And I have 2 crazy dogs, so less of them really do try it. Their barks alone will scare the hell out of you. So, babe, you that brave? Come on. Like I said, just, you can try it if you won't. Like, I'm crazy as hell. But speaking of spirits and like trusting your gut, let's talk about your tarot readings, because I need a new one. I really do. I feel like my body is telling me I need to know where my life is going to be in a few days.
Yeah, I know. I started reading tarot. Well, okay, my first experience with tarot was in Miami when I went to XBiz. My friends and I were like, we have to see a psychic. Like, let's just fucking do it. Because we were having like a really nice big spiritual talk, the 3 of us, and we were like, we should just go see a fucking psychic. So we went in and like each of us, we were really open and candid with each other before we went in, like just really open and sharing. And then we went in and each of our readings were so specific to us. When we came out and we were sharing with each other in the car, we were like, yeah, fucking right. And I'm like, you know what? I just like could not stop thinking about it. I'm like, there is something to this process of cards that I want to figure out. And so I was always drawn to tarot. I knew my mom had a tarot card, like had a deck, and she actually gave me her deck. And then I found out that that deck also belonged to my grandmother. So it's like a 3-generation tarot deck. And I didn't even know that my nan read tarot. And so I always actually, when I read that deck, I always felt pretty connected to her. And there was like this card that really stood out that reminded me of her. And then when I later found that out, I was like, you're fucking kidding. And then I ended up buying like a whole bunch of other decks and, you know, just oracle decks and tarot decks and stuff. And I started reading myself and then reading for people that I knew, but not telling them, just to see like how like based on what I knew about what was going on in these people's lives, my mom, my sister and stuff, just to see like practice and see how accurate I was. And then I started like actually reading for people. And I think I'm so much better at reading for people than I am for myself. I don't know if that's common for tarot readers, but now I've done like 200, 300 tarot readings for people. I just did one the other night on the full moon for a friend. And they're always so intense. Like, you like, I don't know, sometimes I read cards and I'm like, should I say that? And like, I'm thinking it, I'm like, I'll just say it. And then they're like, it's so weird you said that because this. And I'm like, I have to just trust my intuition and say what I'm thinking. Because like, people are always validating that. And I'm super critical of myself. So every reading that I did for like the first 100, I rated myself out of 10 based on the person's reaction to it. I'm like, how, like, was it good? Like, they're like just validating for me so I could just know that I'm getting better or more accurate or whatever. But I really enjoy doing it. I don't know what it is about tarot that I'm so drawn to, but I feel like it's the voice in your head that you like, you think these things, but you don't always express them. And I feel like every tarot reading is subject to change. It's not like the future. It's based on what's going on in your life right now. This is how it looks flashing forward if you stay on this path. At any time you can change that path and those cards will read different. But yeah, I love doing it. It's so fun. I've actually made my own decks, my own like text deck and like drawn oracle cards and stuff.
Oh, that's super fun. Cute. Oh my goodness.
You should do one.
Like create a tarot card?
Well, the whole deck is a lot because it's like 78 cards. But if there was one or two that you felt really drawn to, interpreting it in artwork yourself would be really, really fun.
It's funny. Okay, it's funny that you say that. Hold on. Hold on.
I just said, like, should I say it? People are like, so funny you said that. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, so this is like super ugly as to why I didn't finish it because I wasn't feeling it. But, okay, what's the tarot card that has like I think it looks like a Joker. Hold on. You know which one I'm talking about?
The Fool?
Yeah, the Fool. Okay.
The Fool?
So, of course, I was on TikTok and I got creative and I started to make this, but then I stopped. But it's funny that you say that because I was trying to make like the Fool in like a 3D way, like by the nose and then like the shape of it to be like in the card, and it was going to be a incense holder, so that way there's like the little divot there. So it's so funny that you said that because I literally made this. This is August, maybe like 2 months ago, and then I just another one of my unfinished art projects that like I hate it, so I stopped doing. But it's bitch, what?
Do it.
Like,
if you're thinking about it, do it.
Like, dude, that's so crazy.
So, let me see. I have my it's called my doodle oracle because like I've always been really big into like doodle art. Mm-hmm. So like I've got. I don't know. I've got some here.
Ooh, the log.
Too much baggage.
Okay. Front page, extra. Ooh.
I don't even know like which ones are the cutest ones. Hold on. Because I know I got some cute ones in here. Like the clown, I made this really cute clown one. Watch it be the last one here. Watch it be the one that fell out. Oh my god. I'd be so annoyed.
It is.
Okay, no.
I was like, oh my god. Shedding your skin. Ooh. Girl.
How accurate for me.
For real though. For real.
No, but I really enjoy doing them. Like, I like to, listen to some good music, cleanse my space. It's been, I don't have a lot of things that I do just for me. Mm-hmm. And I feel like tarot, spirituality, oracle cards, all that stuff is, like, me time that I can invest in. And I feel good about it, and it's calming, and it's enlightening, and it helps me, like, self-reflect, and...
Do you ever feel
I really like that.
It can be mentally draining by connecting to someone else's energy and soul? Or no?
I don't find that. I know a lot of tarot readers and stuff, like, they'll want you to hold the deck or they need you to be a part of this, and I don't necessarily feel like I need that stuff at all. Like, whether it's someone's username that has no connection to that person, I can still connect to it because I can feel what kind of person would have this username, and then I create this narrative of who this person, what their messages have been to me. If it's someone on Instagram, I can just look at a recent photo. I don't necessarily need these tools, but they just help just a little bit more. But I don't ever feel drained after it. If anything, I feel more buzzed up. Sometimes I get finished reading and I'm buzzing, and I'm like,
okay.
All right. I'm like, what can I do now? It just gets me really, really hyped. It's very rare where I'm like, okay, that's enough for today.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, because I would just always wonder if someone's going through a really dark time in their life, and that's the energy or the reading that you're getting from them. If just mentally, if that could be a little taxing, but I don't really know. I don't know much about tarot. Even when I got mine from yours, was it last year? Yeah,
I think so. Late last year.
I was like, I don't know what this is. She could be making up some shit, and I'm gonna just go along with it. I don't pay her, so oh well. But when I was listening to it, I was like, oh my god, this girl doesn't know anything about me, on a deep personal level. We've never met in person. How does she know this? It was so trippy. But I don't know if it's
there's some weird things that's come from my tarot readings. I did a reading for Lydia Love last year, and I'm like, you're gonna get a lot of money, big amount of money. And then she won $35,000 from Chatterbox.
Oh my god, I totally remember that.
Yeah, and a friend of mine, I read for her one time, and it had been a while since we caught up, and I was reading her, and then I was picking up on her mom really pushing her to go back to school and finish her master's and stuff, and she's like, I literally haven't told anybody about this. What are you doing with this? How are you saying that right now? I know exactly what you're talking about, and I interpret some, but I'm just telling you what it says. I'm not telling you your future. I'm not I intuitively read my cards, but if I feel something's leaning more towards one way, or some a couple cards are more connected, I'm like, this is about this. You need to fix this. And I don't know what it is, but I'm like, this. I don't know. I've always been really, really sensitive to other people.
I just thought about this because I was thinking about how I remember how with the charms you had a crown, you had pulled, and then I ended up winning Many Vids. But you also pulled out, what was it? It was something art related, and I can't remember if it was a brush or if it was just something that was like creative, but it was art based. And then now I have my art business. Like, I literally just put that together now because I was trying to think, where did this art stuff come from? Like, yeah, I've always been creative and always, like, down to, like, try stuff. But since we started talking about, like, the tarot readings again, I was like, oh, my God, I remember when she pulled the crown. And I was like, wait a second. This bitch also pulled something, like, art specific. And I have a whole art business. Like,
that I didn't know about.
Right,
like,
but
that,
I don't even know. It wasn't even like,
it
wasn't even anything that was like on my mind. It wasn't anything that was really in the works. It might have been like an idea that I had subconsciously, but wasn't allowing myself to really want to like invest into it or like bring it to fruition. And then for some reason, it just came up what feels like out of nowhere. And then it just evolved. Like, it just feels like it was out of the blue. Weird. But another thing you had said in there, too, was, like, I needed to stop being afraid of embracing things that I wanted to do. And that once I let that guard down or that door down, that so many new, like, opportunities will come both professionally and personally. And, oh, my God. Okay, my brain... I'm literally going crazy right now.
We're going to go through the voice notes from like a year ago.
Because now I'm just thinking about like everything. It's like connecting dots now. Like all the business opportunities I've had, all the business connects that I've made, all the businesses I decided to do. Bitch, my brain right now, I'm just like, holy shit, this makes sense. Oh, God.
I know. It's really interesting how some of these messages come through too. Like, you know, there's some cam models who've gotten readings from me who like I don't even know if they're like in a relationship. I don't know if they live alone, if they have a family, if they have kids, if they have a dog, if they're good with their parent. I know nothing. Mm-hmm. And like I picked up on, you know, someone's father like going cross country, but I was like, it was like a departure, a separation, but it wasn't like this person had passed away. It's like just this long distance thing. And she was like, that's so fucking weird. Like, how the fuck did you feel? Like, I don't know. I can't tell you that. I can just tell you what I know. It honestly, like, it makes no fucking sense to me, but I embrace it because, like, I believe that there's things that are happening that I don't have an explanation for, but I can still accept are happening. So that's, I think, like, magic is just unexplained science.
I agree. It's just like with paranormal activity. I feel like just because we can't physically see it or be able to articulate it into words where the human can accept it doesn't mean that it's not real. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like people can talk to spirits that have been passed, whether if they're good or bad. And I feel like there's always a spirit around us, whether if we are embracing and allowing them to interact with us. But I feel like they're there. Like, and I mean, this goes back to people being like, oh, Sasha, you're so over dramatic. Like, haha, you're so weird. And I'm like, okay, but I have some weird encounterments in life that have made me believe that it's real. I can't explain it, but I know it's there. It's just weird.
So, like, I feel I've had, like, a lot of personal, like, beliefs of what I think like afterlife looks like and all these things, like all these concepts that I've created as a kid, like I like ever since I was probably like 8 or 9, I started like conceptualizing some of my like spiritual beliefs. Mm-hmm. And now being an adult on TikTok scrolling through witch talk, I'm like, I literally have been thinking about this my whole life, and no, it wasn't from any source. Nobody told me these things. Mm-hmm. These were just like some deep knowing or some intuitive thing that I felt was true, and now someone else was talking about it, and I have not talked to this person about, like, where does this idea come from? Right. How we all got the same... where did this all come from? Like, I'm just still trying to piece it all together.
No, for real. Witch talk, I definitely feel like I might be a witch, and I don't mean to be disrespectful or, like, joking when I say that, but I low-key feel like I have some type of, like, witch tendencies, which is funny because my sister and I, when we were younger, we used to always pretend we were witches and like make spells and like actually get like cauldrons and like try to cast spells and like put in different like items, like, and we would really like think about it and like really sometimes some of the shit we would like joke around what happened, and I'd be, oh Lord, like we don't need to be playing with this, like this is a little too freaky. But then there's like a whole nother side of witch talk where I'm like, y'all is some real witches. Like it's kind of scary. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you could be tapping into a whole different realm than you were intentionally trying to. And that scares me because I never want to unlock no demons, no negativity. Like, It gets a little too deep. But I feel like you're a witch. Yeah. Like, I really, truly feel like you're a witch.
Fun fact. My mom, she's really into genealogy and our, like, lineage, and she tracked us all the way back to the Salem witch trials, and 2 of our relatives were jailed during that time, but were let go. Why, bitch? Why?
What?
So, I think that is so cool, yeah. I know.
See, I knew
like,
you
so legit.
Different.
And I know that like people would love to just. I see on TikTok they're like, oh, we're the witches. You know, yeah. There's a lot of like, we are witches, but like
you literally come from.
There was a time. I'm gonna open up real quick, but there was a time when I was a child where my grandmother took me aside from. I was playing with my siblings and my cousins, and she took me into the car, and we drove down the street. We were sitting in a parking lot. I remember it was a beautiful day, and she just turned to me and she had told me about how her, like, it was so. I was like literally 5 years old. I remember this like it was yesterday, and she had sat with me in the car and said to me that her mother knew when she was going to die, and she called everybody to tell them before she died. And she was just like, yeah, so I think she was psychic. And she's like, I think I'm a little psychic too. And then she said, I think you probably are a little too. And that just like stuck with me for such a long time. And, you know, right before my nan died, I had said something about how, like, I feel like I was picking it up before she died. And I said something like, like, no one really close to me has passed away, and that's weird. I wonder, like, I feel like something's coming. And then literally, like, 9 days later, my nan passed away, and I was like, I wonder if I was picking up on that. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, like, a lot of very, like, I believe in coincidences, but I also believe in, like, fate and destiny and things happening for reasons and whatever, and manifestation, all that shit. Like, I'm deep in it. I'm fucking deep.
Yeah, you are deep. Like, I thought I was deep. But you buried. Like, you are beneath it. Like, you.
But at the same time, I, like, don't come to me for spiritual advice because I am still learning. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can always be learning. I don't think anyone is ever truly done learning from something like that, because there's always so much that you don't know until you encounter it, or someone is brought into your life for you to then pick up on it, or, like, as I like to say, unlock a new, like, level as a person in you, because there's a lot of shit that you don't even would ever think of until it's in your face, and then it's like something in your brain just unlocks. And then now you have this whole new knowledge that you never knew you had. And you're like, where the fuck did this come from? But I just feel like we're like a video game. Our brain unlocks when it's time to get to the next level. So,
yeah.
See, I'm weird. Like, I can go way left field sometimes. When I talk to people about stuff like this, sometimes it's kind of just like, oh, whatever. Because they'll either laugh at me, like, oh my God, like, okay, you think there's ghosts around you. Okay, haha. Or like, you think you manifested that, whatever that is. No, you just got a job and you, like, worked for it. And I'm like, ugh, like, what's the point? Like, you don't understand.
Like, that's your
you
problem.
You don't understand. That's crazy
I know.
with your nan, though. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. But, like, my roommate from college, she used to say, like, you're being weird again. Because, like, I would just, like, I would just be sitting in my room and I'm like, I'd be singing a song and then she turns on her fucking music, first song playing. And, like, just shit like that. Like, there was times where, like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know what? I feel like my little one's gonna get hurt. And I lay down a pillow and then hits the floor and I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, how do I know these things? I don't, like, it's hard to explain and people do totally fucking look at you like you're crazy. And that's fine. That's fine. I am crazy. And I'm okay with that.
Crazy and beautiful. Crazy and beautiful. Man, I mean, do you always feel like it's just like, okay, after that encounter that happened with your nan, do you still get things like that where you can just almost not predict but feel it happen before it happens? Or what do you think that was just kind of like a one-off?
No, it's often like I can feel the moods of my family members even when I'm not around them. Like my brother went through a breakup. Like I felt that, and I was like, something's off, something's wrong, someone in my family is hurt. Like, I don't know if it's emotionally, and I express these things, and then I later find out. Like, I'll tell my mom, like, yeah, I'm feeling uneasy, something's going on, and she's like, Aunt Pat died. Like, and I'm like,
dang.
Oh. Like, mom is very in tune with me, too, and, like, I think that, like, my mom and I are definitely, like, on the same page with a lot of stuff, so it's nice to have, like, her validation in that, but at the same time, like, I don't fucking understand. There's a time, just recently, like, Rob, I was laying in bed with my partner, and I was just like, I said the name of this company, like we were just on our way to bed, and I'm like, StruckTube, and he's like, what did you just say? And I'm like, StruckTube, and he's like, I was just thinking that. How did you? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how.
That is
like, I literally
crazy.
I just hear it and I say it, and then people are like, why would you say that? Like, what compelled you to say that? I don't know. I don't have explanations. I just do.
Do you feel like, since it sounds like it's something that's like been in your family for decades, do you think with your family, do you think like that's going to kind of pass along, or do you think it's like a woman like trait since it was like your grandma?
That's a good question. I don't know. There was one time where I had like crazy deja vu one day, and I was like with my little one who's a boy, like my son, and I stopped and I like looked at something and I looked back at this, and then something happened and I'm like, this is so deja vu, and he stopped and he looked at me and I looked at him and I'm like, do you feel that? Like, what is going on? Like, I don't know, but like it felt like he was in that with me in that moment. We were both like, what the fuck was that? So weird.
That's gonna be fun to see as he gets older. Like, if you can notice, like, if he's like picking up on things, like, because I don't know if you like, I don't know if a person zones out, because obviously we can't see ourselves from the outside point of view. But I know that there have been times where I have thought I was active in the real world, but Bluebird says that I have like literally just zoned out, and he will call my name, like touch me, and I'm just zoned out. But I'm thinking I'm active and I'm like living and it feels like the real world, and then I'll come back to myself and he'll be like, yo, what the fuck was up with you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? So I don't know if people zone out like that, or if it's like, I don't know, like a blank face, but you're still active. Like, I've always wanted to see someone in that element and see how they physically looked, because it's just a weird, I don't know, it fascinates me. And then I'm always...
Did you ever look it up, like research it, or like...
No, because sometimes I get a little afraid researching certain things because I don't want to know what it possibly could mean. Because then if it's something kind of like bad, like certain dreams I would have, I would look up, and then the definition of them would really like scare me and traumatize me. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, do I need to reevaluate my life? Especially if it's like a consecutive dream. But I'm so fascinated by the brain that I just want to see someone in that element and see if it is like an outer body experience. Like if you really just kind of like zone out, or if you're just like normal, how we're talking right now. Do you ever just feel like it's not real, but that you're watching from like another dimension? You're watching yourself, but it feels real because we're talking. But then it also doesn't feel real, like you're watching yourself. See, now I'm starting crazy.
I feel that more when I'm like out in public and I like have those realizations where like every single person around me has their own experience here, and then every person that they know have their own experience, and then I'm like, Like, I just have, like, very, like, big dissociative days, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, why are we here? But I've never really fully zoned out and, like, you know, felt like I was, like, doing something, like, living and not, you know what I mean? Like, and not, like, actually doing things. That is really cool. Like, low-key, it's really cool. Do you ever meditate? Like, are you a meditator?
So I have tried to meditate, but my brain is so loud, it doesn't fully allow me to get to the point where I am meditating. I have tried with music. I have tried with guided videos through YouTube. I have tried complete silence. My brain is just too loud, and there's always something that I'm thinking about. It just won't let me. And it really bothers me. Because I feel like if I could meditate, I can control my emotions a lot better and my anxiety a lot better. But my brain just won't let me. Unless I'm
I get that.
I can meditate, but that's because
I get that. I can't, like, sit in peace and meditate. I have to, like, I feel like I need guided meditation, because if not, if I have too much control in that situation, I'm just like, what's for dinner? Right. And I want to spend this time, like, reflecting and going inward, and like I like guided meditations that take you to a time or a place, or, you know, introduce you to someone else, and you create this person and you see this person. I love those. There's meditation, like guided meditations I've done where I come out like crying, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, what?
Oh,
like,
yeah, I never got to that point.
It's just like they get really, really intense, but I've only done them, like, I've only gotten, like, that deep into them a few times. I try to be mindful and take a few minutes each day, but totally should be doing more of that, because I feel, like, way more, like, grounded and connected when I do have time to just, like, sit for a bit and just regulate my whole body.
Do you still journal daily?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All the time.
I find it difficult to journal lately. Because mentally, I just don't want to go back to, like, a certain time that I need to reflect, because, so I do digital journaling, and I got a lot of prompts from this Black TikToker that I found, and she gives you the most deepest prompts ever. Like, you can't just, like, 5 minutes, this is how I feel, go on. No, like, she makes you think. And a lot of the prompts, I'm like, okay, I need this to heal. But when I get down to write, I'm like, I'm just mentally not in that headspace. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to do that. And I'll just, you know, ignore it and go on about my day. But I just wonder sometimes, I know journaling can be hard for people. And with, like, meditation, it's kind of a form of journaling, because you have to really, you need to in tune yourself with what it is that you're writing. And you would have to get into that headspace. So I just wonder if, like, you had that difficulty with journaling daily, since you can't really meditate like how you would want to.
Yeah, I like have been journaling, not necessarily daily, but like very frequently since I was a child. And it is such a good source for me to just get things off my chest, because I'm not like normally very open, like I am like with my friends and family, but there's a lot more processing up here than I'm saying out here. So I do find journaling as a really good way to talk to myself, and then meditating feels more of like a way to talk to like my spiritual team, you know what I mean? Like just to like one is directed to me and one is directed to like the forces working around me.
Okay. I see. Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like it's pretty different for everyone. I don't know. I don't think there's rules. There's not really rules to it. It's just like, I think it's however works for
you. It works for you, and however you resonate with it, which could be completely different or not the normal that you would think it would for someone. Because like when you said your spiritual team, I was like, oh, I never thought of it like that. That's like a good way of thinking about meditation in that way, since you are in tune and like into that. I can see that. It's weird.
One thing I find when I'm like going into like when I'm writing, I hear my own voice. I'm like, you blah blah blah, me da da da, I. It's me and I. And then in my head when I'm meditating, I hear like by my first name, I'll say Destiny, but they'll be like, Destiny, you blah 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 blah, and it sounds like someone is like literally talking to me, and I'm like, who is that? Like, is that me? Is that me talking to me, or is that something talking to me? Am I picking up on this, or what? You know?
Have you dreamed lately? Like had a dream?
Yes.
Child.
You know what?
You said.
Here's the thing. I used to dream all the time in high school and college, and then after that, I barely dreamt, like maybe once a year. Like, and it devastated me. I was so sad because I love to dream. I think it's like such a fun experience, whether it's good or bad. Like, I just really like it. And then like over the last year, there's been more and more and more. And I would say over the last like 3 months, it's been almost every fucking night. Like literally the night before last, I dreamt about a double Earth, and I was like, I'm like, oh my God, just like too much tonight. But you know, then some dreams like make absolutely no sense, and then others are like they feel like completely guided or like purposeful.
Like parallel.
I don't know. Do you dream a lot?
I haven't had a dream in, I want to say a few years, maybe like 1 or 2 years. This is 2021. Yeah, I don't think I've really dreamt since like 2019, but I would start to kind of track my dreams, and I notice I only dream when I'm going through a really dark time in my life. Because usually my dreams are very negative and like traumatizing and like around death or murder or just something really deep. And so when I'm not going through a dark time in my life, I don't dream. It's just pure blackness. My eyes close and then I wake up and I'm like, oh wow, it's a new day type of thing. So it's really weird. I don't know why, but I've noticed that it's like that. I've never had ever a happy dream in my entire life.
Really? Wow, that's crazy. Like, that is really crazy.
The first dream I can truly remember, I was like 4. But that's when everything negative really started to happen in my life. So I don't know if that's a coincidence. But yeah, all my dreams are always negative. Chasing dreams, murder dreams.
Chased, being hunted.
Yep.
Oh my God, the feeling of being hunted. I have those kinds of dreams often. One that is like reoccurring but different, like I've had multiple dreams of multiple people in my life who've passed away, where in the dream I'm bringing them to their family who is still alive. So I had this happen to me with like a childhood friend, this girl I went to high school with, this grandmother I used to babysit her grandkids, and like just it's happened like several times where this person will die, and in the dream they connect to me. I bring them to either like a room full of their family or bring them and connect them back to one of their loved ones. And I'm not there to be a part of it. It has nothing to do with me, but like I am like this middle ground to get these two people back together, connected. And so I think that's like when I started wondering like if I had some like mediumship abilities, like why I was connecting so much with people and like passed over and people alive, like and their family members and stuff. And I think that, like, in the back of my head, I've always wanted to see a psychic or, like, a medium. But I've never actually seen a medium yet. But after I did that tarot reading, I'm like, I gotta get into this. Because I feel like there's a lot of untapped things here that I, like, have always felt for a long time. But just, like, kept inside and never really shared it. Because people think you're fucking crazy.
They definitely do. But I think that's something that, especially if it's, like, one of your most recurring dreams, that's something that's trying to tell you, like, this is something you're meant to do, or, like, some type of purpose in it. Because that is something, if you think about it, is very, almost like a blessing to be able to bring someone back to their loved ones. It's almost like that connection that they might have needed to reach there. Because you don't know, you could be dreaming it, but you don't know what those people could be going through, and what you dreaming it can impact them on an emotional level too. It could be like a chain of effect. So it's really interesting because, especially if it's a recurring thing, there has to be something to that. That's not just I won the lottery type thing. That's on a deeper level. And I think that's beautiful, because if you could tap into that and figure that out, imagine what you could do for people. Oh, man.
I know. I feel there's so much to learn about mediumship. that I don't feel like I have time to learn. But then I'm like, what is the point of like why wouldn't you? You have all this time here to figure this out, so like do it because it feels right. But yeah, those experiences are so weird, and it actually like that. It didn't happen my whole life. It was after my grandmother passed away, and then shortly after she passed away, like probably 3 months after she passed away, I had a dream about her, and she came to me and she had said, I'm not dead. You just have to come find me. And that always stuck with me for such a long time. Like, it confused me so much because that dream felt so real that I woke up that day thinking, like, what, is she alive? Like, and I remember asking my mom, like, is she, like,
Are you guys
did she die? I was like, are you okay? Like, and so I got to explain it to her. And then it was like, just over the past, like, 3-6 months, I was doing this, like, meditation, and I had thought of that moment and thought of that dream. And then it sounded like my grandmother's voice in my head that was like, Destiny, I'm right here. Like, I'm right here. Like, I could, like, literally hear her talking to me. And I was just like, like, did I connect with her? Like, is that what that meant? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not gone. I'm here. You just have to come find me in these
spiritual
ways. So it was just like, you can't ignore those things forever, especially when they happen so frequently. Like, you have to start questioning shit. And, like, I feel like people who don't question it maybe just aren't paying attention to the signs that are being given to them, you know, because people are so busy with their everyday lives. And that's why I think it might be, like, sparking up more over the last year, because I'm, like, going inward rather than just focusing on all the, external things. The past year and a half has very been, like, self-reflection, and that's what I'm like, okay, like, now I'm getting back in tune with myself, and these things are starting to make sense again, so it feels cool.
Yeah, I mean, you have such, like, a peaceful, like, experiences, man. All mine are shitty as fuck. like, my most recurring dream is, like, it's me, my mom, and my two sisters, like, my youngest two sisters, and we're always in the house chilling, and someone tries to, I don't know if they're trying to rob us or do something worse than that, but I always manage to grab my two sisters, and we always climb. It's always like the same scenario. I grab them, we climb out the window. My mom tells us to go without her and that she'll catch up, but don't look back. Don't come back and find her if, like, she's not there. And then we're always running on top of, like, the roofs of apartment buildings, like, hopping over them. And then the youngest sister of mine, she always gets hurt, so I ended up carrying her. And then my mom ends up catching up with us, but she's usually, like, bloody and, like, clothes ripped. It's like really graphic, like, very eerie to, like, see your mom like that. And then it's just, then for something, like, we end up getting separated, and then I'm by myself, but I'm constantly running from, like, the guy that's trying to harm me. And it's like an ongoing chase, like, ongoing. And then I don't know where my sisters are because we got separated, and I usually end up crying. And then, like, my dogs or something will wake me up out of my sleep. And then I'll be like, oh my God, like, I'm real life crying in tears. And I'll ignore it, and then it'll happen again the next night. And then it'll happen again the next night. And then I'll call my mom, and she'll be like, oh, we're good, we're fine. And then I'm always like, why am I having this dream? I have not lived with her in 10 years. Why do I keep having this type of dream? And I still, to this day, don't know why. And I feel like when I do figure it out, it might be too late. But it's, like, the weirdest thing ever.
That's really, really intense to dream, like, night after night.
It is the most intense thing ever. And, like, I love my mom to death. But, like, she's, you know, she's old. She's up there in age. But my sisters, they haven't lived life yet. So the thought of them dying before they even, like, become 18, that's what traumatizes me more. Because it's like, I cannot be the older sister they needed and save them. And I think it's not necessarily about my mom. I think it's about my mom maybe passing them on to me. Like, okay, this is, like, this, they're yours now type of thing. Like, now it's your turn to protect them, and then I fail. I don't know.
Like, you have this big sense of, like, responsibility for them.
And I've always felt like that since they were born. I'm like, oh, like, because we're 16 years apart. That's a huge difference. When I'm, like,
Oh yeah, you were babysitting all your
high school. Like, oh my god, I remember like when they were like 1 or 2, and I would take them to the store and hold their hands. People were like, oh my god, your baby is so cute. And I'm like, it's my sister. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, no, like really, she's my sister. Like, bro, like I didn't have a baby. Like all kinds of stuff. And when they would get older, they would joke with people and they'd be like, mommy. I'm like, don't. You know I'm not your mom. You know I'm your sister. So like it's a huge difference. So when they're in high school, I'll be like mid-30s and they're gonna be calling me like, hey, I need something for prom, or I've always known they were gonna call me, and I don't know if my mom will be around when they graduate high school, but I just knew when they were born, like, damn, I have 2 kids basically that are gonna be my responsibility for their entire life, because I'm gonna be like the only one that's gonna be left, because everyone else is super old and we have a very small family. So I don't know, it's weird, but it ain't as pleasant as yours. Ain't no.
That's a really intense dream. Don't get me wrong. I get some scary dreams of being hunted and like chased and shit like that. Like I have dreams frequently of like people like trying to read my mind and stuff, and I'm like, like I'm gonna fuck with them and I'm gonna think this, and then I can fool them.
Ooh, that's a new one. I've never heard that before.
Really? Yeah, I've had dreams where like, there's this one dream, and I was on like some shuttle. I don't know, some space shuttle, right? Like whatever. And basically, there's a bunch of people on it, and we were all kind of being held, but like as prisoners. And so someone like the staff or whatever were coming around, and like they would hold this like thing that looks like the temperature check thing up to your head, and then it would like scan like what you were thinking about. And so like they were kind of seeing and testing to see like who was like strategically still like present. And I'm like realizing what's going on. I'm like in my head. You ever seen the movie like Divergent? And they're like just trying to like fucking figure this shit out and still try to blend in. It was exactly like that. And then so like they go over my head and I'm like, I wonder what we're having for dinner. Like I totally fucking like trip them out. And then they move past me, and then I'm like, I gotta get the fuck off the ship. Like, it just all felt very, very bad. Or like dreams where people, I feel like I'm like shopping and I'm like, why are there so many people that look like this around here? And then I'm like, we gotta go. Like, let's get our stuff and go. And they're like, I'm like rushing out the door and look behind me, and they're like chasing after us and stuff. It's just, there's a lot of like anxiety dreams. Dreams are fucked. I love having them. Like I said, I don't care if they're good or bad as long as I can wake up from them.
Right. Have you ever been like, what is it called? Sleep paralysis, I think, where you wake up but you can't move?
No. I've never had that. Thank the fucking Lord.
It's the worst thing that could ever happen. My old house, when I was living in the Bay, I had just got my oldest dog, Otis. He was like a puppy. I think he was like 1 or 2. And he is a German Shepherd. Like he does his job to the T. He is the best guard dog ever. Sometimes I'm like, yo, you bark way too fucking much. Like, I need you to reel it in. But he does his job. For him not to be trained, like, he naturally is a very, very good dog. And animals and children can see spirits. I believe that with my heart. I believe it because their mind is, like, their imagination hasn't been stripped of them. Because, like, as adults, you kind of lose a little bit of that. You start to learn about realism and things. But I feel like children and animals can see things. I'll never forget this night. His kennel was in my bedroom. And I was dating this guy, Bluebird, at the time. And he was sleeping in the living room. And I remember waking up fully 1,000% awake. But I could not move. All I could do is move my head from left to right. That was it. I couldn't go up, down, just left to right. And I felt this heavy pressure on me. And then my dog started to go insane. He is barking as if someone is attacking him. And he's in his kennel. He's like clawing at the kennel. He's trying to get out. He's going back and forth. His eyes has not left whatever it was that he saw. His eyes did not lose sight. All of a sudden, he stops. He goes into sit position. He then submits and then lays down. And I'm laying here, cannot move. I'm crying, I'm yelling for Bluebird to like come, like something's wrong. And I mean, you would think I was being murdered the way I was screaming and yelling. And then my dog is going crazy, barking extremely loud. After maybe like 15, 20 minutes, because I remember there was TV that was on and the episode was almost over, the pressure released. And I remember I got the fuck up.
15, 20 minutes?
Very
oh my
long.
God.
I got up and I ran to the living room. I wake up Bluebird and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I was calling you. I was screaming for you. Like, did you not hear Otis? Like, what is wrong with you? He's like, what are you talking about? I didn't hear anything. And I was like, dude, you're fucking crazy. Like, I was in there screaming like I was getting murdered. Like, what are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm angry at him. Like, you're the man. You in my house right now. Like, what the fuck? Like, if you gonna stay over here and try to mess with me, I need you to at least hear me when I call you. Something. He's like, I didn't hear a peep. I didn't hear Otis. I didn't hear you. Wow. And it scared the shit out of me after that. And I know it was real because my dog was barking like that. And I saw the whole thing and there was nothing I can do. And he doesn't submit for anyone other than me. And he submitted as if, I don't know, like something was taking control of his body. And the way he submitted was like he was scared. It wasn't like a, okay, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. It was like...
Right. It was just like a little
yes,
like
it was like, I am terrified, you win. Yeah.
Wow. That is so scary. I couldn't imagine feeling like I couldn't move for like 20
when you wake
minutes.
up in the middle of the night and then you just are like, and you're physically trying like to move, but you can't. It is the worst experience ever.
I think sleep paralysis is a lot more common than people think. Like, I feel like I've heard of statistics that was pretty high, and I was like, holy shit.
Really?
Like, I really don't know how I would, like, mentally deal with that.
You
oh my
check
God.
yourself, and you make yourself think, oh, that was just a really bad dream. But I feel like humans can really tell the difference between a dream and what is reality. Because yes, you can have realistic dreams where you wake up and you're like, whoa, it felt real. Like, but you come to mind, like your brain, it does this thing where it starts to register and you can feel the difference of going from a dream to reality. Sleep paralysis, you are 1000% awake. Like, there is no dream. There is no in the middle of like, oh, you're just lucid. No, you're fucking awake and there's nothing you can do about it at all. But control your breathing because you can feel your heart. I mean, you're terrified. Like, you can't move. You're scared. You don't know what's going on. You feel this like negative energy around you, and all you can do is try to breathe and like hope that you're gonna get through it. I hope you never have to experience it.
So horrifying.
Because it is the scariest thing ever. I get it quite often. It's usually when, like, I used to have a roommate, so whenever they would go away for a couple of days and I was home alone, I would get it.
Okay, so like, fuck like, that. Oh my God.
I called my friend, Angelica. I FaceTimed her, like, so many times, because whenever I'm home alone, I always have my phone next to me. I'm paranoid. I need to have 911 easily accessible, like, if something happens. And I've called her, and she's like, I'm going to talk you through this, because I can see right now that you cannot physically move, and you're going to be okay. Because she's also into, like, spirit numbers and, like, super into that stuff. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, this is fucking scary. I'm so scared. Like, what the fuck do I do? She's like, just breathe. Like, it's scary, bitch. It's scary. But I think it has to do with negativity in your life. Because that place I lived in, it's like almost 7 years. A lot of negative shit happened in there. I believe spirits can be trapped, especially if they're bad energy. Like, that'll also bring that energy into your soul. So I believe that has something to do with it, because it hasn't happened to where I am now, but
I totally believe that. And I believe that, like, arguments are energy that leaves and stays lingering. Like, if you're with a partner and you want to start fresh, I think the best thing to do is to, like, find a new place to live.
For real.
And I know you can, like, cleanse your space, but like, I swear, arguments seep into
and
the walls.
the longer you stay in that place, it becomes more of like a black hole too. Like, it does not get any better. It only gets worse because you have more arguments, and then the energy of that house is also causing those arguments. Like, yeah, people have their things, but I feel like if you're already in a negative environment, the energy's main purpose is to keep bringing that negative energy. So it's going to keep going into the souls of those two people, which is going to cause them to create more energy. And who you let into your house is also, I don't like just anybody in my house. I don't like, because that energy you're bringing in, I don't know what you're bringing into my house that may never leave when you leave. Like, you could be trying to get rid of that energy by dumping it off at my house. Nah, I don't. It's crazy out here.
I'm with that.
But I mean, I can talk about this forever.
I'm sure we'll continue this conversation.
I can go on and on. We'll have to do like a part 2 on just like energy and paranormal stuff, because this is what fascinates me in life, and I love when I have someone that can also like converse with it, because they have their own experiences and they can just like really understand the brain is not as black and white as people make it seem to be, and just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not there. It doesn't make me feel crazy, because if I would talk about this with anybody else, I'd be like, bitch, you okay?
I know. You don't have to, nobody should worry about us. We're fine.
We are fine. We don't need 5150. I promise you, like, we're all good in the head. Like, just, if you don't agree, that's okay. No need to call anyone to, like, check up on us. Like, we're all good. We're all good.
You were saying earlier, like, when you were younger, you and your sisters would, like, you know, like, do little spells and stuff. So a couple years ago, I was filming this video for work, and it was called Fertility Spells. And in the video, I'm like, I found this, like, this was, like, really before I started, like, getting into it as deep as I am now. Like, obviously there was an interest, but I found this, like, lame-ass spell on Pinterest, and I'm, like, I'm, like, doing this thing, this little ritual, da-da-da-da, and I'm editing the footage after. And in it, like, I'm stopped for a moment. There's, like, it's 2 a.m. I'm filming this. I live in a building filled with old people. Nobody's awake.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know what I mean?
Perfect
Like,
time,
it's late.
time.
It's quiet. And so I went to adjust my camera, and then I sat back, and then I, like, got back into position and kept going. And when I was fucking editing, I had the headphones on, which I don't normally wear, and I'm sitting there, and in this moment, it sounds like an older woman's voice, and she goes, "Stupid bitch." I kid you not. I saved the audio. I'm going to send it to you after this. But it made my eyes water. It made every hair on my body stand up. I was in the moment. I didn't hear anything when I was filming this. And it is clear as day. And it actually sounds like this grouchy old woman, like, almost, like, pissed off that I'm, like, doing this fake spell. And she's like, "Stupid bitch."
And then she probably
like,
cursed you and was like, okay, you want to do this fake spell? Let me really cast it on you.
It was the creepiest thing. I'm going to send it to you after.
Do, but that scares me, because I'm a firm believer of, like, goes back to my paranoia, but, like, I don't like wearing headphones because I need to be aware of my surroundings and hear if something happens. But when you edit, you need headphones. Like, you just can't really hear everything 360 clear without them. But I'm always afraid that I'm going to hear some shit like that. Like, or I'm not going to hear some intruder breaking into my house because I have on these headphones that are soundproof and I can't hear shit. So that is scary.
I know. My partner likes sleeping with rain sounds on, and I'm like, I need to hear it all.
That is stupid. Bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, I just said chills.
I know.
About, like, imagine. Oh, no.
I was like,
what do you even do in that
my God,
situation?
everything.
Absolutely. There's nothing you can do but be like, damn, okay.
tweet it. I'm like, someone help.
Oh my goodness, that is insane. Yeah, some of the things my sister and I would do, we would, this is so fucked up. I'm so sorry, Mom. But, like, we would put curses on my mom. And like, so we didn't know what we were doing. We just thought it was like fake. Like we weren't looking up spells. We were making up our own language, but we were doing it all the time. Where you know how you kind of create
mantras and stuff.
Bitch, it sounded like somebody was trying to break in through the window.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. For those that are listening, if you could see my face, I literally, oh my god, okay.
They darted in every direction. I was like left, right, center. Oh my god.
Okay. No, it's just my dogs. Thank goodness. See, sometimes I talk about this shit and I be feel like I be unlocking and letting them in. But yeah, we put spells on my mom and like she would get sick sometimes, like just out of the blue. One time she like really sprained her back super bad. I remember we were so mad at her. I forgot what it was for. We were stupid and young. And so we're like, talk about breaking your mom's back and like all this shit. And so that's when I got kind of scared because I was like, this is more than just us playing around, because everything we say about her, it happens. And me being the older sister, I had to be the adult and be like, we're not playing this anymore. Like we would speak in pig Latin, like dudigu, yudigu, notigu, wadaga, adaga, and again, say it again, eating. I haven't said that in a long time, but we would talk like that all the time. So my mom wouldn't understand, no one would understand. It got too real though. It got way too real. I was like, we cannot do this stuff anymore. And that was before I really knew what I was doing.
Yeah, I've never done like spells. I'm super interested in spells. I did a little I guess I did one little money spell last year. And it was my best earning year. I actually doubled my income.
Girl, give me that spell.
But I've never. I also worked really hard last year. I don't really know. Like, I don't have big intentions for spells. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm not prepared to make a big spell yet.
I feel like spells are
what do I even want? You know what I mean?
And you have to do the spell exactly right. Because if you don't, you can have intentions for something completely different. As to why I won't dabble in it, because it can get very demonic very quickly if you're not careful and know what you're doing. And just as a child, doing some shit that I just thought was maybe a coincidence, I was like, no.
I have some spell books that my mom gave me.
Ooh.
Down here. There's one, she said, it's called a natural magic book, and she wrote throughout it on a bunch of different pages, but she said I can't use it or look at it until she passes away. I was like, you're so fucking dark,
wow.
lady. Oh my God. She's like, I left you messages in there, but they're not for yet.
That's kind of scary if you think about it, because what if it's like, so I knew my death was going to be like this, and now I need you to be prepared. Like, what if it's something super, super fucking dark?
You know what? That's all. He wrote those words.
I mean, true. Or it's like, here's the way to get to my Swiss bank account that I have.
Oh my gosh, Mom!
Like, yeah, you've been hiding out all these years, and you've had billions just sitting in the bank.
Stop! That would literally blow my absolute fucking.
Oh my goodness.
No, but it's cool. Like, I like that idea, this mystery of messages to read from her after she's gone. And my mom lost both of her parents, so she's always like, you don't even know. She's always like, you don't even know the pain of your parent dying. And she's like, and when you do, it's gonna hurt. And you know what else she told me? I have this recorded. She said, I want your biggest crown. Whatever one's gonna hurt you the most, bury it with me. I was like, you're fucked. She's all jokes, I
my
swear.
goodness, your mom sounds so amazing. Even when you'll post her here and there, and you guys are usually smoking it up, I'm like, oh, dude, that relationship just seems so awesome to have with like your parent. Man, what it would be like.
My relationship with my mom's been through a lot of different phases, but right now is the best phase. And like, we're both adults, you know, mom's very on brand. Mom has a lot of opinions of like cosplays I should do. She's taken photo shoots for me, like from Halloween a couple years ago, which was really fun. Like, she's so supportive.
That's good. You need
so
that.
supportive.
Especially
It's crazy. She's so on brand.
Like, having a supportive parent is everything. Can't relate, but I mean,
not a lot of people can. Not a lot of people can.
My mom doesn't care what I do. She just acts like she just plays dumb almost in a way. But I can't solely blame her 100% because there's a lot of factors in my family that play a huge like thing. And if one of those factors were to, let's say, disappear or pass along, the family dynamic would be so much better. So I have to keep that in the back of my mind, but I'm also like, yo, I'm not getting any younger, and you're definitely not getting any younger, and I would just hate for us to never get back to that point. Like, it'll be too late type of thing, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, if it wasn't for my baby sisters, we probably wouldn't even really talk because we wouldn't have anything to talk about, which is sad, but I mean, it's family. Everybody got their own shits and problems to go through. But
like, it was very strict growing up. Like, no spaghetti strap tank tops, no boys.
Oh my god,
it was very strict. My household was very conservative. So, like, dad's military.
So how did she feel about you doing this?
Right. Well, you know, mom had a pass before she had her military husband.
Okay. That makes sense. Damn.
But yeah, she was a lot more understanding than I thought she'd be, and I'm like really glad. It took her a little while to like warm up to the idea because I think it was like very shocking to people when I first told them, because I was in a lot of very conservative organizations, like baton twirling. You can't even compete if you're married or have a child. Like at the time when it was like a Miss competition. So if you were a Mrs. or had a baby or were like not, it was very like
baton twirling.
You know. For baton, yeah, for pageantry, like baton twirling and pageantry.
And
then my dad's side, very like strict military, you know, had me in cadet.
Like Cadet Kelly.
So I was a part of two very conservative communities, and then my strict ass parents. But you know, you're always going to be who you are. Like, I was always this person, like this like free flowing sexual whatever, like just in tune with myself, in tune with my body, that was like, it doesn't matter how you are fucking brought up. Like, if you are who you are, like, if you, as long as you stay that way, as long as you are true to yourself, like, this me was coming out, like, regardless. I feel like even if I didn't get into the industry 9 years ago when I did, I certainly would have over, like, the COVID OnlyFans, like, bringing this back full circle. Like, I would have been like, what? I'm so doing that. Like,
definitely.
I was, you know, on Chat Roulette.
Chat Roulette. Yeah.
I was on Chat Roulette and Omegle and all that stuff.
Chat Roulette
like,
were
before
the
I was a paid camera.
I was a hoe on Chat Roulette.
Stop, man. I remember, like, joking with my friends, being like, I'm gonna make this guy rub his dick on the floor. And, like, did it. I'm like, what am I doing?
Oh, that takes me back. I wish I could go back in time and, like, just relive those moments where, like, you're just with all your girlfriends and you're, like, sleeping over, like, that one friend's house that the parents are totally chill and lets you do, like, whatever you want. And you're over there on fucking a laptop or a desktop back then, freaking DSL, on Chat Roulette.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, but those were like, even though I look at it now and I'm like, holy shit, my life could have been way different. Like, there's so many times I could have been child trafficked and not realize the danger that I was really putting myself through. But those were the best times of my life. I don't know how I never got fucking picked up by some grown ass man. I must have had angels on my side, because I put myself in the most dangerous situations that I look back now like, bitch, where was your mama? Where were your friends' mamas? Like, what the fuck were we doing at 13?
I know.
14?
I know.
God, chat roulette.
I know exactly what
That's
you mean.
why I get
like,
so
that
scared.
Girl's house. It's like parents don't care. You're just sitting on webcam. Like, literally.
I won't say her name.
My friend used to be like, at the
Oh
ASL.
my God, yes.
I'm like, what is ASL? Like, they'd be like, which one of you are older? And I'm like, lying.
Oh my God. I won't say her name, but she was like one of my bestest friends growing up. And her parents would literally buy us alcohol to like drink, thinking we were just going to stay in the house and like drink in the house. Granted, our parents didn't know that her parents were buying us booze. And like we would just sit there freaking chilling, being such thoughts. And she lived across the street from a 7-Eleven. And we would get dressed up, like tie our little tank tops up and wear like the shortest little shorts we had. And we would hang out in front of 7-Elevens with money, trying to get these guys to like buy us booze. I think about my sisters.
I know.
And how this bitch talking about they got Discord. My other little bitch sister was talking about, hey, add me on Instagram. I'm on Snapchat. I'm like, y'all do not need it. And I think about how I was before the internet, that it traumatizes me now because
I know.
Why can't you have boys?
It's like,
it's like, oh, let me go stay at my friend's house. We're gonna have a sleepover. Like, no, you ain't. I know what happens at them sleepovers. I know about them little chat sites. I was been there. Like,
I know.
Did your mom ever say, "Been there, done that"? Like, you can never get anything past.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't get that until now. Where I'm like, girl, I've been there. I've done it. I'm still doing that, but I'm getting paid for it. Like this time, I'm doing it safe and I'm getting paid for it. I've escalated.
That's funny. I think back to like if I had known about camming when I was in college, like how different the experience would have been. Like would I have been like a huge hoe filming with guys in college? Would I have been camming every weekend? Like what would that have been like? Because I feel like I was doing it but for free. Like my roommate would go back home. I lived far away from my house, so I didn't like leave campus often. So I would just be like, fuck it, no one's here, I'm bored, everyone's gone for the holidays, let's log into here. And then I'm thinking, like, I was struggling. Like, I was a struggling, poor, broke, hungry college student.
Yep.
Flashing for fun.
Right. Flashing
idiot.
for fun.
Oh, my God. But you know what? It's because always you see those ads for, like, campsites and stuff, and you're like, that can't be real. They're not really making real.
This is going to give my computer a virus if I click on it. Let me not click on this. Like, it looks like a fucking virus. Like, it really does.
Click the fucking link,
Click
ladies.
it.
18 plus.
I promise
click the
you,
link.
if you are 18 or older, please click the link. It will. If you're a broke, if you're a broke college student eating top ramen and just looking for a way to get out and make it, click the link. 18 and older. It'll save your life.
Honestly, like if it feels right, do it. Like. You know, there's a lot of things people don't consider a lot of the, negative sides of it. But like, I feel like I knew that I wanted to do this well before I did it professionally. I feel like I used to watch porn and be like, I feel like I could do that. I feel like I would do really good at that. Like and then I'm like, how does someone from where I live even like do something like that? And then I met somebody who came to some college or some high school party and she had just shot for Playboy and I'm like, how did someone around here shoot for Playboy? And then I was like, wait a minute. So then I started like learning more about like what was available for someone where I lived. And yeah, it wasn't until I met my partner that I joined a campsite and he was like,
what was your first campsite
like, is that real?
You joined? Do you remember?
Street Mate.
Okay. Did you ever go on?
Yeah, and I'm still on there.
Cam for fun, Cam 4? Maybe I think it was just called Cam 4. Yeah.
Cam 4? Yeah. I was on there for a little bit, but Stream8 was where I started because that's where my partner was spending money, and I'm like, are these girls making real money? And he's like, I'm paying real money, so they better be. And I'm like, all right, sign me up. I'm like, are you cool with me doing this? He's like, yep. I'm like, all right, let's go. Went to the library, signed the consent form, scanned my IDs. Thank you so much.
I'm dead.
And, you know, like, when I started camming, all I had was, like, the built-in webcam on my laptop. Like, we're talking 2012. Like, I didn't have an HD camera. I didn't even...
Well,
I was,
that stuff wasn't out
19.
yet.
I didn't have, like, lingeries. And,
Yeah,
like,
it was like... It was, it was like... Okay. Because I started 2011. And it was... It sounds very childish that I think about it. But during that time, like... 2011 to like 2014, it was very like teen themed, but it would be like little cheeky boy shorts with like a really tight midriff tank top. Like that was it. It didn't start becoming fucking a full production with lingerie, glam makeup, hair fluffy, wild, and body waves until about 2016, 27. Yeah.
16? Yeah, I would agree.
Then that's when it became a whole production where you had to get the newest cameras, you had to be HD, you had to have a microphone, you had to have professional lighting and a nice backdrop. Back in the days, you could have the built-in camera on a box, like your laptop on a box, with yellow lighting and make bank. Like, those were the days.
It's so true.
I miss those days.
It does not fly anymore. So if you're thinking about doing it, click the link and then go buy lighting and a webcam.
I know people tell you to start with what you have, but I'm going to be honest. This is the 21st century. You need at least a Logitech HD camera, C920, which is what's current on the market. I don't know, it might be C955 years from now, but whatever current webcam there is, and you need to at least get some softbox lighting from Amazon. If you don't have those, I'm sorry, but you will not make it. You have to invest in this business now to compete because it's just too saturated and it's too glamorized now. Like, and you are your product. Like, however, you are a brand. You are a walking, talking brand. So keep that in mind because it's a lot different, man. It's a whole lot different. It used to be easy back in the day. Now
it really is.
Be your own PR manager, be your own HR manager, be your own payroll manager. Like, it's a lot.
I know. Yeah, when I started, I had the built-in webcam. I had 2 panty and bra sets that matched, and I had 1 toy.
Was it from Walmart?
And I made enough to get me the panty and bra set.
The toy.
Senza, but that don't fit no more. Oh no, your Walmart sells sex toys?
My first sex toy was from Walmart.
What?
And they still sell sex toys. Yeah, out here. In the U.S.
Wow, that's crazy. They do not sell that here.
Be there.
The most they sell here is like condoms and lube. That's it.
Oh no, they got vibrators, like all kinds of stuff. I mean, granted, it's like cheap because it's from Walmart, but I'll never forget the little purple bullet I had. Starting me.
That's another thing. Like, the toys have changed so much over the last 10 years. Like, they used to be like these jelly dongs that would melt and they just smelled fucking toxic. And now it's like, I can't even believe I like bought those. It's honestly like
my pH
It hurts
balance.
so bad. But now everything's like silicone and like, you know, charged up.
Do you remember the whole Hitachi phase?
Wireless, and I just bought my other another one. What do you mean? Like that's the one toy that stays in the bedside table every night.
No, I got the Lilo.
Talking about. Oh yeah, I love Lilos. One of my fans bought me a Lilo, and I was like, "This is revolutionary."
I love Lilos so much. I felt like I was like, "Damn, I'm that bitch now in the industry. I got me a Lilo. Like, okay, I got me one of the top of the line toys." But I remember when the Hitachi like first came out. And everyone was like, it seemed like they were being over dramatic, like faking it. I'm like, man, these bitches ain't getting off like that. That ooh, child.
That's funny. I was talking to another friend of mine. She's like, when I use the Hitachi on cam, I go crazy. But then when I'm off camera and I'm using it, she's like, honestly, the face I make is so embarrassing. She's just like, I'm like,
Like an exorcist.
She's like, I just take it. I was like, stop, it's so real.
Like, you don't want to dumb. The one model that I can say that does not give a fuck about her faces and won't say it is Miss B Nasty. She'd be like, you gonna get this crooked eye twitching up here, like zombie looking body, because you know it's real. And like her videos be like that. I'm like, I fuck with you. I could never.
As they should. As they should.
I've been so focused trying to look cute. Like, is this angle good? Like, how's my body? Do I look like a hot porn star? Like, nah. At a point, you're just like, I'm gonna get this nut. Fuck it.
Yeah. I feel like that's the difference between like me filming and me on cam. I'm like, you know what? We're in the moment. Let's do it. You're gonna see some show tonight.
Y'all gonna get the real me.
Oh my gosh.
Views of the bad me. This the real, okay? The eyes ain't twitching like. I have deleted clips of videos where I looked too like exorcism. I'm like, I can't even do this to myself.
Oh my god.
Yes.
The stuff that doesn't make the cut, you guys have no idea.
That in itself could be like a whole collection of videos. Like, oh my gosh. Oh, child. Just.
How many clips have I cut that I'm like,
oh my goodness, yes.
People are like, please, I want the whole video. I'm like, trust me, you don't.
No, you don't. Like, oh my, and let's not even get started with like anal videos. So many cuts on that because you have to like really watch it and make for sure everything is good and like everything's clean. Like, your anal video goes from 30 minutes to like 6.
Oh my god.
I thought I at least had a 10-minute out of this, but damn, all right, 6 minutes it is. Like.
That is so fucking funny.
Man,
and
people,
real.
if you're thinking about joining that industry, there's a lot of stuff y'all don't see on the internet. Trust me. There's a lot that you don't see. Goodness gracious.
So true.
Well, to kind of wrap everything up, I do like asking what everyone's kind of song of the month is, because I like to steal new music. Yes.
Let me take a little gander here. I listen to a lot of older music. I was listening to Ice Cube today. Like all day, like all morning.
Okay.
Ice Cube.
You going back. I see you.
Let's see. Yeah, like Today Was a Good Day. What else was there?
Hey.
That West Side instrumental slides are just so good.
Love
so
that.
Good.
Ooh.
That's my song of the day.
Nice. Ooh, I love me some Ice Cube. Ooh, now I want to go watch.
Are you gonna make a playlist? You should make a playlist on Spotify of all your recommendations.
Don't be telling people my business. I was just kidding. I wasn't going to. I was just trying to act like I was. But that's a smart idea.
But do it. I'll follow that. I'll follow that playlist.
Definitely gonna do that.
I love getting put on new music or old music.
Definitely gonna do that. Ooh. Well, I appreciate you for being here and like mentally kind of just checking out from everything crazy going on and, you know, really fucking with me with my bootleg setup, but, you know.
I'm so excited you started this. I'm so excited that I got to be like a part of helping you with the intro.
Oh my god. Yes.
I can't wait for it to all come out. Like,
Thank you.
Are you releasing all of the episodes soon?
Yes.
Or are you going to start with like one?
No.
What's your
So
release plan?
everything, by the time you guys are hearing this, this will already be out, but it comes out September 3rd. So next Friday, because today is the 24th.
Cool.
And it'll be every week from there, like consecutively. So it'll be
Awesome.
like, you know, part of your daily routine, hopefully, like your Friday afternoon, get the weekend.
And where are you uploading?
Everywhere. So Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your podcasts, that's where it'll be. So, you know, check your girl out. And yes, thank you for my intro that you guys hear in the beginning. This bitch right here, her and her partner. When I tell you guys, it was a very interesting process, but they are so professional and like they turned it around so quickly and they really brought everything that I was looking for together. So if you need anything music related, their info will be down below. So yes. And tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, it was really fun
too. Like,
so I'm everywhere now. So no, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Destiny with 2 Ds _ Diaz. And then you can find me on Many Vids, clips for sale. I want clips. Pocket Stars, Streamate, Pornhub, Sex Panther, Fansly, Fan Central, AVN Stars. If you have an account, I'm on it. Just
Twitter will be the main platform. Just if you need any real time
for
updates,
sure.
just check her Twitter. Yes. Well,
thank you. This was fun. This was both informative, spiritual, scary.
All right. Until next time, guys. I'm your girl Sasha Raee, and this has been another episode of Chaotic Madness.